Hey there, crafty queens, and welcome to Paper Rain. It's me, Rachel Bellamy, aka Queenpreneur. Today, I'm going to share with you some of my near completed jelly print projects. Okay, so this first one, I was super excited about the premiere and of Panther, and of the opportunity to do some African inspired artwork. And so this one here is an old jelly print, and then I put stencil through paint. I created this shield, and you see the black, the shimmery. That's actually I embossed some black embossing powder on it to give it that texture, the same as the stencil. This next one, it was a jelly print, and I added some more layers of paint and some more layers of jelly print, and then I added a stencil, added some paint with the stencil, the big black shield like is a stencil that I created myself, and then I did some mark making. And you'll see here I'm pointing to mark making and stamping. And I need to add a quote. I was waiting for the movie to get a quote for that one. This next one, I swear this was the ugliest page I'd ever seen. I was ready to throw it away. It was black and brown and green and blue, if you imagine, just yucky. But I kept adding paint, kept adding paint, kept adding paint. Then I started adding marks, and I started adding some stencils, and lo and behold, it turned out like that. I like it. This is a finished product. I actually like this. Is actually one of my favorite sizes to create on. I don't know what it is. It's probably like a 7x9 maybe, but it fits on most of my jelly plates. They're very handy. I have a stack of them always available on my desk. It started off as a jelly print. I did some stamping on it. I did some stenciling. I added some marks, and then of course I added a quote. This next one is, I wish you could feel it though. This is a piece of deli paper that feels like leather right now because it is so thick. It has so many layers of paint on it that it literally feels like leather. But you'll see here I have an iridescent kind of paint through a stencil. That's what the peacock feathers, if you will, or I think that's what that stencil is called, peacock feathers or something. So again, I was going. So my practice is I'll work with a set of paints and a set of supplies for about a week. And so these three prints that you'll see here were all created around the same time. That's why they're all purple and this silvery and pink combination. Here's another one. Again, same process. Starts off as a jelly print, multiple layers on the jelly plate, and then I'll add a stencil with paint, and then I'll add some stamps, then I'll add some inks, some marks with my paint markers and my acrylic inks. Here's another one that I created a while ago. I'm big on inclusion of things that speak to me and to my heritage. And so I created this mask. I made this stencil, and this was of an old jelly plate that had like 3 or 4 layers. Here's another of a stencil I made using an old jelly print, excuse me. It's got like 3 or 4 layers. And same thing with this one. This one is interesting because it underneath it I can see that there's three or 4 layers of jelly prints under there. And then this is a stencil I created. This is one of my favorite ones because I saved this one. This one, I had created this mask. I created the stencil and mask for this one, and then I had outlined it in black. And normally that works. However, this one, the jelly print underneath had black in it, and so it got lost. So I put blue on it and was able to save it. Here's another example of layers of jelly printing, and then I finished it off with some art foamy stamps on top. Now this piece right here was a challenge for me. I don't really like to play with. What I'm showing you here is that it's a large piece. It's 11x17. Back to my story. I don't really like the color blue. It actually, I like turquoise, but I don't like blue. So I challenged myself to paint with blue, and I found this African skirt that was my inspiration piece, and it had a focal point of a big flower. And the skirt was blue, and it had other colors. And so I used the other colors that were in there. I pulled out some of the elements like the big circles you see, these dashes and hashes. I pulled them out, incorporated them into this piece. It's got layer upon layer upon layer. And I wanted to smother it in red because that's my comfort color, but I left the blue. This is another fun piece. It's another 11x17. And this is very thick paper, nice quality paper. I could actually frame these now. The quality of the paper is that good. those marks you see, the big black marks, come from art foamies. And here's another one. Again, jelly plates with a lot of layers and a lot of colors. Okay, good. So what I'm going to show you next is what I like to do, especially when I'm traveling. I like to take deli paper with me when I when I travel, because when I come back, I don't have a lot of papers. I just have like a stack of these deli prints, and I can hide them in my luggage somewhere. But nevertheless, let me walk you through them. I use these pieces become pieces of collage paper for me later. So here is a deli piece of deli print. It's got lots of layers and stamps. And I think this one was actually hand painted, not jelly printed. This one was it looks like a hand painted, meaning I placed down paint, then I stamped on top of it, and then I made more marks and more marks. Yeah, I don't think this one was jelly printed. It could be, but I think it was hand painted. Again, I like metallics on deli paper because they really when you adhere them to a collage piece, they become part of the paper and of the original design. I was just showing you here how cool this page is. You see one design, and then you turn the page a little bit and you see another really cool iridescent paint that I'm getting through these deli prints. Again, these are just, I put down my stencil, I put down my paint, I put down the deli paper on top of it, and I pull these stencils out. And I will use them, and you'll see coming up, I have some pages that I've cut from, and I've added the elements to other pieces. They're great to have on hand, especially if you want to add a pop of color that's different from a page that you've already created. Here's some more. Again, you'll see I love my metallics. Okay, and so here's some more pieces that I've created. I used a handmade stamp on that one. Here's another piece. This was, you can tell, was just a pull. It's probably like a second print or something. It's got lots of different pieces of paints and pulls on this one. This one was fun. It was made with stencils. I painted. This was not jelly print because that's a little bitty stencil. But I painted a repeated pattern, and then I added some more paint. I added some marks and lines, and just love the gold and that color combination. You'll see this combination a lot in my work too, this red, green, and yellow with some orange and black. And that pattern is created from art foamy. The big black pattern that you see here, the flower, is a homemade stamp I made out of foam. I also have text. I have printed text on the paper, repeated the text pattern. These are just fun and very easy to make, and a lot of fun to make. Here I had a lot of fun making these little circles. I think it's like a pin cap. And then the black circles are from a homemade stamp. Here's another one. I've used this one on a collage. This is the blacks is from a homemade stamp that I made. And so again, the process is, I put some paint down, I stamped the background images. Okay, I hated this one you see here. I just did not like, it's not finished. Maybe if I could probably save it with a nice black stamp, but it's right now, I don't like it. Okay, here's some more. I think this one is actually in the journal. You saw that one in the journal. Here's again more iridescent as a stencil, several stencils, several pulls on this one. Here's another one. I love this one. It's so yummy. So this is one of my clean off pulls, and it's pulled up all those background colors. Here's another one. The same thing. It's a clean off. And if you don't know what I mean by that, and what I'm saying when you do a pull off is you've done some jelly printing, and then you put down like a tan or a buff color, and it pulls up everything off of the jelly print, but it pulls the remaining colors from previous prints, and they show up in the print. So while I was talking, I was showing you more collage pages. And I think we're getting near the end. So this one is pretty. It's the iridescent, and it's got lots of layers on it. And I'll pull off a section and add it to a piece. I rarely use the whole piece. It's just, I'll pull up one little corner. I'll make something. I'll cut a focal point out of a piece of it to give a collage piece add some dimension to it. Here again, This one is fun because it literally is 3 pulls from stencils, right? So you see the gold ovals, and then you have the green like maze type pattern, and then you have the red jewelry bead stencil. So all that's in there, lots of depth and layers. This one is nice and pretty. It's a clean off of previous prints using a stamp. And here's another one, iridescent with some black and some gold copper on top. And now I have a couple that are not finished, but they're kind of flat. But I will go back and finish them. Again, as I mentioned, one of my favorite things to do when I don't have a lot of time is to print onto deli paper, because you can use it later, and it's just fun for me. Slinging paint, just touching the paint is therapeutic. Oh, this one is very pretty. Isn't that pretty? So it is in my normal red and black, but it's got a gold iridescent in there in the color mix, and so it picks up a little shine and shimmer. Here's another one using art foamies. I love those art foamies. And oh, this one was fun to make. It's my classic colors that I like. Gold, red, and black. But that was with a new stamp that I had. I'm sorry, new stencil that I had acquired from Sean Petit. Nice stencil set. Here was a challenge for me. I don't normally use a lot of blue, so this was fun, using this combination of a blue and or a teal and gold. That was a lot of fun. Again, here's some more of that stamp. The key with getting those perfect images in stamping is not to have a lot of paint or ink on your applicator. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my Gelli Print flip through. I look forward to creating more videos. Please like and subscribe and leave your comments and questions. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.